Hey yogis, welcome to this beginner-friendly Hatha practice. I'm Sarah, and today we'll be focusing on stretching and strengthening by holding our poses for roughly 3 to 5 breaths. This will help us to really soak up and maximize the full benefits that each pose has to offer. This class is perfect if you're new to yoga or you're simply looking to slow down and get back to basics. So, without further ado, I welcome you to join me on the mat and we'll begin. Bring yourself into a comfortable seat, crossing at the ankles, just allowing the knees to drop down towards the mat. It's going to begin just by looping our shoulder blades up towards the ears. So draw your shoulder blades up, squeezing them up, and begin to roll them, pressing them back away from the ears and hitting them down the body. Lovely. Now from here, you can gently close the eyes if you'd like to just to drop the awareness and really focus in on the body. We're going to drop our right ear down towards the right shoulder and just very gently hold here. Allowing the weight of the head to hang heavy as you drop the left shoulder. Drop the weight out of the left side of the body. Sending the breath deep down to the top of the left shoulder. Just noticing any tension. Noticing any knots, any stiffness. And send the breath to that area. And try find a little bit of release. Begin to tilt the head forward. Roll it through center and bring your left ear to rest towards the left shoulder. Drop the weight out of the right shoulder. Noticing the difference from one side of our body to the next. Notice which side of the body holds more tension, which side needs a little bit more love, a little bit more care. I'm going to try and focus as much as we can today on our breath. As we slow down in our practice, we really take note and take stock of what's going on. Gently bring the head back up to center and blink the eyes open. Great. From here, we're going to begin to extend the arms away from the body. Begin to reach and stretch the arms up and overhead. Really grounding through the sitting bones, reaching the fingertips nice and high. So we're keeping the awareness through the arms, through the fingers. Maybe begin to draw the gaze towards the sky, dropping the head back, if that feels okay in your neck. Just sitting up out of the lower back, we're finding length through the spine. Then exhale, gently begin to face the palms forward and draw the arms down into cactus. So you're keeping the arms bent at the elbows and you're opening, you're broadening through the chest. Palms are facing in front of you. Fingers are spread really nice and wide. So we're feeling a lovely engagement through the hands, through the fingers. Peel the shoulder blades back so as if you're trying to draw the shoulders together, trying to hold or squeeze onto a pencil. You're drawing back. Begin to look up towards the sky. And we hold here as we breathe. So we're lengthening through the body, through our stomach, as we open up our chest and our heart space. Open our throat. And opening the shoulders. Inhale, begin to reach the arms back up once again. Going to twist over towards the left as we float the arms down. So your right hand meets the left knee and your left hand plants behind you. Inhale, sit up a little bit taller, so find more length through the spine, as if somebody's trying to pull onto your head and drag and pull you up. You're finding that length through the spine. Twist at the belly and begin to look over the left shoulder. Use your breath to guide and bring you a little bit deeper into the pose. Find length on the inhale. And exhale, see if you can twist and sink in a little bit deeper. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist. Last breath. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And on the exhale, gently come back to center. Inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Twist over towards the right. Float the arms down. This time, left hand meets the right knee. Right hand plants behind you. Lengthen through the spine. Twist at the belly and begin to look over the right shoulder. Allowing the breath to guide you, to move you today through each pose. As we find more space, maybe we can twist and sink deeper in. So maybe we can begin to twist the body and look a little bit further towards the right. As the breath builds more space, it allows us to open. Find more room, space to move. And exhale, gently, softly release. Bring the hands back onto the knees. Just take a moment to take a breath before we move to the next pose. From here, we're going to begin to extend the right leg, stretching it long away from the body, keeping the sole of the left foot hugging in towards the leg. Begin to bring the palms down onto the ground. Loop the shoulder blades back, lengthen through the spine, begin to look over towards the right toes. You can open up the right leg as much as you need to, just to feel like a nice opening into the hips. So begin to twist and look over towards the right. Flex the foot so you want the toes drawing back towards your face. So you're pressing into the right heel and you're feeling an engagement through the whole right leg. Lengthen through the spine. Deep inhale. Exhale, begin to hinge forward from the hips. Now we're not looking to round the spine down. We're looking to find length through the spine, hinge forward, maybe walk the hands a little bit more forward, and just look towards the toes. So we don't want to be rounding our spine. We're trying to keep the leg fully engaged. So as long as you feel an opening through the hamstring, through the back of the leg, you're doing it right. You're going far enough. Lengthen on the inhale. On the exhale, see if you can sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, see if you can sink. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, maybe you can come down onto the forearms. Maybe you can bring your forehead to meet the leg. Or maybe you're still up on the fingertips. This just depends on how your body is, how open it is for you today. Each day will be different. Last breath. Inhale. And exhale, ground through the fingers. Plant into the hands, walk the hands slowly back in towards the body. Brilliant. Bring the right foot in, send the left leg out. You might notice even just slowly moving through these poses, the body might feel a little bit tight. It certainly does for me today. Just notice where you're at. Notice what's going on inside of you. So inhale, find that length through the spine. Look over towards the left toes. Exhale, begin to sink a little bit deeper. Hinging from the hips, lengthening through the spine. Maybe walk the hands out in front of you. Just coming to your own max, to where your body wants to go. Pressing deeply, firmly into the left heel. Heel the toes back, so we're flexing that foot. We're keeping our knee joint nice and safe. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, soften. Inhale, find the length through the spine. And exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Begin to ground through the hands, pressing in. Walk the hands back in towards the body. From here, come back into a cross-legged seat. So maybe crossing at the ankles or bringing one foot in front of the other. I'm going to inhale, find length through the arms. Exhale, hinging from the hips, send the arms forward. So from here, we want to really crawl out through the fingertips. We're lengthening through the spine. So maybe you're high up on the fingertips, just bringing that length. Or maybe you can begin to sink down onto the forearms and rest the forehead down. Or wherever you are in this pose, you want to feel that weight into the hips. So notice that awareness as they sink a little bit heavier. As you lengthen through the spine, you can peel and walk the hands a little bit more forward. Maybe you can bring your whole body down towards the ground. Begin to ground into the hands to bring yourself back up. Walk the hands slowly back in towards the body. We're going to make our way over to tabletop. Very gently, making our way over to hands and knees. I'm going to flow through a few gentle, slow cat-cows. So normally we would just flow very quickly through these poses. Today, we're going to take it nice and gentle. So knees stacked under hips, wrists stacked on the shoulders. Inhale, drop the belly, roll the shoulder blades back, open the chest, open the heart space forward. So really feeling the length through the belly, through the front side of the body. Noticing as the hips point high up towards the ceiling as you loop the shoulder blades back, you open through the chest. You find that lift through the neck. Then exhale, begin to tuck the tailbone under as you slowly round the spine. And then begin to drop the gaze as you peel nice and slowly into cat. Last one, inhale. Begin to very slowly round the spine. Drop the belly, open the chest, open the heart space forward. Lift the tailbone nice and high. Open the chest towards the front of the room. And exhale, draw the lower belly in. Tuck the tailbone under. Drop the gaze, healing into cat. Inhale, gently come back to tabletop. From here, we'll make our way to our first downward facing dog. So we're going to walk our hands a little bit more forward on the mat. And you want your index finger pointing towards the short edge of the mat, just to give us that external rotation of our shoulders. Begin to tuck the toes under. Keep the knees about hip-width distance apart. And keeping a deep bend in the knees as we begin to lift them away from the mat and send and press the hips towards the back of the room. Coming up into our first downward facing dog. The backs of the legs might be a little bit tight. So just notice if they are, and keep the knees as deeply bent as you need to. Grounding into both hands evenly, pressing into all 10 fingers. Lengthen through the spine. We're going to begin to walk out the legs, but really slowly with complete awareness. Begin to lengthen, so drop the right heel towards the mat, bending deeply into the left. And then switching, dropping the right knee, straighten the left leg. Opening the back of the leg, bringing movement into the ankle. As you press into the hands and send the hips back, bend into the left, drop the right heel. And the last side, bend into the right and drop the left heel, coming back to normal downward facing dog. Knees as bent as you need. Inhale, begin to bring the right leg in towards the chest and step, hop or guide the right foot up towards the top of the mat. We're going to ground the left foot down onto the mat. We're making our way up into our warrior one. So we're going to begin to loop and spin the arms up and overhead, keeping a deep bend in the right knee. So we want to keep it roughly in line over the ankle, and we're grounding through both feet evenly. The hips are squared up towards in front of the room, and you draw the arms up and overhead. So pressing into both feet evenly, and we're opening the right knee up out towards the right side of the mat. We don't want to squeeze our shoulders up towards our ears, drop them down. Drop the weight out of the shoulders as we open through the chest. Take a deep breath here. Inhale and exhale. On your next exhale, we're going to begin to open up into warrior two. So begin to open towards the side of the room. So the arms begin to lengthen. You might need to pivot on the back foot so it faces the short edge of the mat. We want to keep the right knee in line over the ankle. Extending through the arms, drop the shoulders down away from the ears. So the hips are now pointing towards the left. And you're looking over the right fingertips. Nice strong body in our warrior two. Tailbone is tucked under. Again, we're grounding through both feet evenly. And remembering to breathe. And from here, we're going to make our way into Trikonasana. So begin to straighten the front leg. You might need to shorten your stance just a little bit as we send our hips back. Bring our right fingertips forward. Drop the right hand down. Begin to extend the left fingertips up towards the sky. So now your left arm might not come the whole way up, even if it's just out to the side, just depending on the rotation of your shoulder. So wherever your left arm is, just keeping it nicely engaged. You can stay looking towards the sky or drop the gaze down towards the mat. So coming into our triangle pose, you should feel a nice opening into the hips. As we lengthen, broaden through the chest, stacking one shoulder blade on top of the other. Lengthen through the spine. And after your next exhale, inhale, begin to straighten the arms, bend back into the right knee. Coming back up to our warrior two. From here, bring your hands to your hips. We're going to pivot on the right foot and then bring the left foot out. So we're making our way into warrior one on the opposite side. So you might need to change your stance slightly. Begin to bend deeply into the left knee. Inhale, begin to sweep the arms up and overhead. Bending deeply into the left knee, keeping it in line over the ankle, dropping the shoulder blades down along the back, opening the chest forward. And the hips are squared towards the short side of your mat. Opening up into a warrior two, pivot on the back foot if you need to, keeping the left knee deeply bent over the ankle, extending through the arms. So now we're opening the hips up towards the right. Drop the shoulder blades. Tailbone tucks under. Gaze is over the left fingertips. Keeping the energy through the arms. It's a full body engagement. There's nothing at all easy about this pose. And certainly not when we're holding it for a few breaths. So remember to breathe. Hold yourself in this pose. Nice, strong warriors. From here, make our way into triangle pose, into Trikonasana. Begin to straighten the left leg, shorten the stance if you need. Shift the right hip back. Bring the body forward. So if somebody's trying to pull onto your left arm, you drop that left arm down. Maybe you need to plant it onto the shin or resting down to the inside of the left leg. Begin to sweep, bringing the right hand up, facing towards the sky. Gaze follows, if it's okay in your neck. Stacking one shoulder blade on top of the other. Opening into the hips. Lengthening through the spine. Lengthen through the arms. Full body engagement. And inhale, bring yourself back up to your warrior two. Bring your hands onto your hips. Pivot on the left foot, so both feet are facing towards the front of the room. Hands are on your hips, looking up towards the sky. Begin to exhale, hinge forward from the hips, bringing the upper body down, allowing it to hang heavy. Drop the hands down towards the mat. Readjust here if you need to. You need to widen your stance or shorten your stance. Just where it's comfortable for you and your hips today. Making our way from here into a halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen forward. So we're lengthening through the spine. Finding length through each vertebrae. Hinging from the hips, so the hip bones are peeling towards the back of the room. But we're peeling our shoulders, our forehead, the crown of the head towards the front of the room. And then exhale, begin to fold forward, allowing the body to melt towards the mat. You can walk your hands back. So maybe so they're in line, the heels of the hands with the heels of the feet. Or maybe if this is a little bit too intense, it's too deep, you can always stay high up on the fingertips, working on finding that length, finding that space through the body to fold deeper into our forward fold. So wherever you are, the legs are fully engaged. We're keeping the awareness in the knees as we zip them up. Should feel a nice lift through the arches of the feet. And inhale, gently find length, come back up onto the fingertips. Lengthen through the spine. Begin to bring the right fingertips up towards the front of the mat as we walk our hands up to frame the right foot, pivot on the back foot. We gently drop the left knee down towards the mat into our low lunge. You can keep the back toes tucked or untucked, depending just on what you find comfortable. Sometimes the back toes tucked can be a little bit more gentle on the knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring the arms into cactus, bend at the elbows, palms facing forward, open through the chest. Looking up, finding length through the chest, through the heart space. Finding your breath here. Sinking the hips low, find space through the body. And inhale, draw the hands back up, the palms touch, and draw them down in front of your heart center. Coming into a twist from here, so all depending on how your balance is today. If you feel you want to take it a little bit deep and you have nice support, you have a nice stable body this morning or today, whatever time of day it is, we're going to bring our left elbow to hook around the right knee. Begin to twist at the belly and look over towards the right elbow. If you're wobbling a good bit here and you feel you need a little bit more stability, plant the left hand down the inside of the right foot and begin to draw the right fingertips up towards the sky. Twist at the belly. Allow the hips to become heavy. And just finding yourself in this pose. Finding where you're at today. Not judging where we're at. Just accepting, just noticing. Accepting. Just becoming aware. And gently bring your right hand down from wherever it is, framing your foot. We're going to bring our right foot back towards the left. And just send the hips towards the heels. Just stretch out the hips just for a brief moment as if we're about to come back into child's pose. Then inhale, come back up towards tabletop. We're going to step our left foot in between both hands, making sure our knee is in line over our ankle. And again, you can tuck or untuck the toes of the right foot, just to where you comfortably feel you can go. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, open up into cactus. Allow the hips to drop. Allow the chest, the heart space to open forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, keeping the awareness in the fingertips. Maybe giving them a little wiggle, not forgetting about any part of the body. So we're engaging, everything is awake, everything is working. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. This time, inhale, reach the hands up. Draw the hands down in front of the heart center. Take your twist from here. Maybe bringing the right elbow to rest towards the side of the left knee, and twist from the belly and look over to the left elbow. Find length through the chest. Use your arms, pressing into the hands to find more length. As you look up, find space through the body. Inhale, gently release, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, the hands plant down to frame the foot. Now from here we're going to step back into our downward facing dog. So you can do it one of two ways. You can tuck the toes under, lift the right knee away from the mat and step the left foot straight back into down dog. Or you can always bring the left foot back into tabletop, tuck the toes under and lift the hips towards the back of the room. Press up into your down dog. And take a breath. Lengthen through the spine, opening the backs of the legs, opening through the chest. And from here, we're going to heel toe the feet in towards the middle of the mat. Bring the feet into touch. We're going to begin to walk the hands back towards the body as we bend deeply into the knees, coming down into a squat. So you want your knees away from the mat and you're up onto the arches of the feet. Now, if you need for a little bit more support with the balance, you can always keep your hands resting, your fingers down onto the mat, and just work on building that balance. It can be quite intense onto the toes. If you feel you want to challenge yourself today, bring your hands into your heart center, beginning to lift and lengthen through the spine. And just returning to your breath, squeezing your legs in towards each other. It'll just help to keep that stability, to keep and find that balance. So you want to really open through the chest, rolling the shoulder blades down away from the ears. As we lengthen through our chest, and we lengthen through the spine. You might notice your legs begin to wobble and shake. If you do, just invite it. Just noticing that energy, feeling it, accepting it. Feeling the body wake up. And deep exhale, bring the hands down onto the mat. Drop the knees, just a very brief toe stretch. So either staying here again with the hands planted on the mat or walking them up into heart center. Plant the palms, stretching out the tops of the toes. This can be super challenging, super tight on most people's feet. So if it is, you can just come out of it. You don't need to stay at this pose. I'll just be here for one more breath. Inhale. And exhale, gently release the hands. You can tap the toes, the tops of the toes out. And coming back through to sitting comfortably in a cross-legged seat. We're going to close our practice from here. So if you want, you can rest in Shavasana by lying flat on the mat and just allowing the body to surrender. Or you can come into a cross-legged seat, rest the hands onto the knees and gently close the eyes. And just begin to bring your awareness back to the breath. We close out our practice. You just take this moment, find gratitude. Bring yourselves into our class today, staying present on our mat throughout. Bring your hands in front of your heart center. up towards your forehead if you're in Shavasana. And gently drop your gaze, drop the head towards the hands. And thank you very much for joining me for today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. And please remember, if you're new here and you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe to my channel. More classes every week. Namaste.